Hello student. Today I am back with a new topic, the making of nationalism in Europe. This is our second topic of the first chapter, the rise of nationalism in Europe. In this module, we are going to cover different topics like the making of nationalism in Europe, Habsburg Empire, the aristocracy and the new middle class, liberal nationalism, a new conservatives after 1815, and the revolutionaries. Let me start with the Habsburg Empire. The Habsburg Empire that ruled over Austria-Hungary was a patchwork of many different regions and the people. Why it was called the patchwork? Because it included the Alpine region of Tyrol, Austria and Sudetenland, as well as Bohemia, where the aristocracy was predominantly German-speaking. It also includes the Italian-speaking provinces of Lombardy and Venetia. And in Hungary, just you see that, in Hungary, half of the population spoke Magyar, while other half of the population spoke a variety of dialects. Beside these, the three different dominant groups, they also lead within the boundary of empire. That's why the Habsburg Empire is called the patchwork of this empire. So these people only they are showing their identity with to tie binding these diverse groups together was a common allegiance to the emperor. Due to the emperor, they are showing their same identity. We are belongs to the Habsburg Empire. Okay, students, next we have the topic, the aristocracy and the new middle class. Aristocracy. Aristocracy means the richer section which are predominant class on the continent. The middle class members, where the middle class members arise. Who are these peoples? We are going to study about that. In the aristocracy, the society or the groups belong to this aristocracy groups are the land-owning classes. Those people spoke French and connected by the tie-up of the marriage, and numerically a small group, these small groups are called the aristocracy groups. There the middle class, and the second group is the middle class. The middle class members were cut across the regional divisions. Their families were often connected by the tie of marriage. The aristocracy was numerically in the small group, while the middle class have a very big group in their own society. So, industrialization began. We all know that. Students, we know that the industrialization began in England in the second half of 18th century. In its wake, a new social group came into being, a working class population, and these working class populations belongs to the middle class. In the middle class, the entire middle class made up of industrialists, businessmen, professionals like engineers, doctors, lawyers, teachers. These all peoples belong to the middle class group. So these middle class groups are responsible to change the scenario under the France that liberal middle class gave the idea of national unity, and abolition of the aristocratic privileges gained popularity. The new social class emerged with the growth of town and emergence of the new commercial class. These students, these educated class were ideas of nationality gained popularity, and they are raised the different question upon the social norms, and those social norms which are made by the aristocracies. Then the next question is arise, what is the liberal nationalism, or what are the liberalism? That liberalism means Liberalism stood for the freedom for individual and equality before the law. That means if we are live in the society, we all peoples are equal in eye of law, and each and every individual took the same type of freedom. These liberal nationalists, it emphasized the concept of government by consent. They raised the voice and asked that a constitution and representative government through the parliament. We need a one parliamentary representative government where we people are responsible to choose our representative. They demanded also the right to vote and to get elected was generated exclusively to the property owning man. We all know that students, we are studied in the French Revolution. On the time of 1791, when the France became a constitutional monarchy, under this constitution, the society is divided into two big groups that call the active citizens and the passive citizens. Active citizens, only those people, only those propertied male person, those have only the right to vote. These all sections are come in under the active citizens. And the passive citizens, the male, the non-propertied male and the women, these all are come in the passive citizens. But in the liberal nationalist, all the male members are getting the right to vote. Men without property and all women. But in this liberal nationalist movement, under women are always excluded, and women were excluded from the political rights. Women and non-propertied man, women organized. So in against of that, the women organized the opposition movement demanding the equal political rights. As you know that the abolition of the state imposed the restrictions of the movement of the capitals and the good. On that time, when the liberals are demanded, and the liberal basically they are demanded the three type of rights: the social rights, the political rights, and the economical rights. The social rights, they are demanded equality and freedom to all. The politically, they are demanded the universal adult franchise, and economically, they are demanded a removal of restriction on trades or the freedom in market. Because of that, in 1833, a merchant, those who are traveling from the Hamburg to Nuremberg, they want to sell their goods in the different areas. They pass through the 11 custom barriers. You know that in that custom barriers, pay a custom duty about 5% each of them. That means 11 custom barrier means 55% taxes were given by these merchants. And obstacles, these make a lots of obstacles to economic exchange and growth by the new commercial class, who argued for the creation of unified economic territory along the unhindered movement of the capital and good. So they are demanded the uniform, the union, abolish the tariff barriers, or reduce the number of currencies from the 30 to 2. These several movements. On that time, the measurements which are made by the Napoleon, this is called the Ellie, and the custom union which are made by the Prussia and Germany, that is called the Zollverein. Okay, students, we are going to start our new topic, the new conservatives after 1815. What do you mean about the conservatives? The conservatives are those groups, those who believe that to preserve our traditional rule and regulations. The traditional rule and regulation means they wanted that to return back the monarchical system, and they believe that to establish the institution of states and the society should be preserved with the change initiated by the Napoleon. That means we all are know that the Napoleon do the dictatorship in the France, but these groups wanted that no dictatorship, no democracy, They wanted to preserve their own traditional norms like a monarchy or the restoration of the Bourbon dynasties. Following the defeat of the Napoleon in 1815, the European government were driven by a spirit of conservatism. The most conservatives, however, did not propose a return to the society of the pre-revolutionary days. They did not want that. Again and again, the Europe is going to face the different type of revolution in their own society. So that modernization could, in the fact, strengthen traditional institutions like a monarchy. They thought that if the monarchical system is there, no need to take every 5 year or 6 year we have to make the elections, we have to choose our representatives. The monarchies are only responsible for their own states. In the modern army and the efficient bureaucracies and dynamic economy, the abolition of the feudalism and serfdom could be strengthened the autocratic monarchies of Europe. In 1815, the representatives of the European power, those who are responsible to defeat the Napoleon in the War of Waterloo, the Britain, Russia, Prussia, and Austria, who had collectively defeated Napoleon, met at the Vienna to draw up a settlement for Europe. Because on that time in the Europe, no countries are there, no dictatorship, no democracy, or no monarchical system was there. So these four countries are responsible to accommodate the Europe and make the settlement for Europe. The Bourbon dynasty, under this conservative regimes, the Bourbon dynasty, which had been deposed during the French Revolution, was restored to power, and the France lost the territory it has annexed under the Napoleon. The German Confederation of 39 states that has been set up by Napoleon was left untouched. That means the students, one question is arise. Did you know that what is the meaning of German Confederation of 39 states? Okay, I am going to explain about that what is this German Confederation of 39 states. Earlier, in beginning of the 19th century, these German Confederation states have a 300 small kingdoms. They have a small kingdoms, and entire kingdoms are going to use the German language. After defeat, after overthrown the France and these particular European areas, the Napoleon combined this 300 kingdom into the 39 big countries. And these 39 big countries are commonly called as the German Confederation of 39 states that has been set up by Napoleon was left untouched under this Treaty of Vienna. The autocratic did not tolerate criticism and dissent, then sought to curb the activity that questioned the legitimacy of autocratic government. Then a very important section of your book, and the topic is very important for your exam as well, and this is a Treaty of Vienna. Under the Treaty of Vienna, how these countries like Britain, Russia, Austria, and Prussia had got together at Vienna to drop the settlement of Europe. How they settled the Europe like that. The Bourbon dynasty was brought back to power as to was dethroned under the French Revolution. Because of that, the France is only that country where always the revolutions were started. The France has annexed many states under the Napoleon and lost them as a result of treaty. To make sure that these old countries, that the French expansions does not take place in future, so they set up the series of states at the boundary of France to stop the further and in future expansion in France. So how these arrangements are going on? The Prussia was given important and new territories on its western frontier. The Austria was given control of northern Italy. The Russia was given a part of Poland in the east, and the Prussia was given a portion of Saxony. Like this type of arrangement was made up by these four countries, and this is taken under the Treaty of Vienna. But they are left untouched, that 39 confederation of German confederation of state which are established by the Napoleon. Afterwards, students, when these type of arrangements are going on, the peoples, the Prussia, Austria and all the conservative regimes made that type of arrangement. The different countries, the new revolutionary leaders, they appeared in the society and they want to change everything. And what are the changes? During the year following 1815, the fear of repression drove many liberal nationalist underground. These people make their own society and make their own group, and they underground revolutionary that this time meant a continent of opposed to monarchical form and to fight for liberty and freedom. On that time, a very famous personality was there. He was belongs to Italy. It's a Giuseppe Mazzini. Giuseppe Mazzini, born in Geneva in 1807, he became a member of secret society of Carbonari. Uh, at the age of young, in the time of young, he was sent into exile in 1831 for attempting a revolution in Liguria. After this prison, the Mazzini believed that God had intended nation to be the natural unity of mankind. So why these peoples are returned back that monarchy or the dictatorship? Because if we are a human being and if we are live in one society, we all people have a right to get equality and freedom in their own society. That's why they made the two secret society called Young Italy and the Young Europe. These secret societies, like that these secret societies was set up in Germany, France, Switzerland and Poland. And different areas, the revolution was started by the all young leaders. On that time, the Duke Metternich, who was Duke Metternich? The Duke Metternich was the Chancellor of Austria and also become the head of Treaty of Vienna. He described him. That means the Metternich described the Giuseppe Mazzini the most dangerous enemy of our social order, because this is only the person in Italy. He was started the revolution and the movement in against of the monarchy, and he always warned that the entire Italy is become a democratic Italy and the Europe is become a democratic Europe. Like this, we are covered these all our sections. Section 2. In the next slide, we are going to study about the third section. So thank you so much. Learn your book carefully.